Well, for you knew eventually, so hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to well, I had to the next movie review. Also, still in the middle of anime month of June slash birthday month, so eventually they had to do another rant sometime during this though. So, like I said, I do a couple movie reviews along with anime month, so I do juggle a bit though. So, but had to get one of these in there, so I'm pretty sure some people knew what my thoughts were on this one, and it's quite obvious. Yeah, and you know what thing that was mind baffling for me because we all know how much of the hatred of the Snow White trailers got, right? And when the first teaser of this movie came out, it got a lot of hate too, you know. So I figure, hey, could be the same thing like with the Snow White trailers, right? Or the 2016 Ghostbusters trailer that got pretty much one of the most disliked trailers of all, right? So I figured probably the same thing would happen with this film. Nope, that didn't happen at all. This film became a massive hit, which I was mind boggled about. This film is almost making $1 billion. I don't think it will though, but it made over 940 million worldwide. And obviously, because of the big opening weekend that this film had, obviously a sequel is going to be made. So I already knew that was coming. A Minecraft movie starring Jack Black and Jason Momoa. Now, first of all, okay. First of all, I gotta say this. I know the video game. I've never played the video game. I never have. So I'm sure people like, oh, you spoil the Easter eggs. I don't know jack shit any about Minecraft. I don't. I don't know jack shit. Now, um, but if anyone who is like a die-hard Minecraft avid gamer or whatever, I'm sure you guys are gonna know the Easter eggs are in this film. Any of these Easter eggs are in the movie, it's gonna go in one ear, out the other with me because I don't know jack squat about this and about Minecraft at all. So if anyone says anything, I don't know absolutely nothing about Minecraft. All I know is that you basically just build shit. That's pretty much about it. But I thought the when this film was gonna I thought this film was gonna flop just like Snow White did because of the hatred from the trailers it got. But no, that didn't happen because of the effects. People complain about how the effects look of the creatures, and ah, it doesn't matter anymore because the film was a mega hit, so it doesn't matter anymore. Now, it did get mixed reviews. It has a 48% Rotten Tomatoes, it has like a 5.7 IMDb. To me, low. It deserves lower. And gotta say, as I said before, I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing Jack Black. I am tired of him and his fat ass beard. You know, I'm tired of his ass. He hasn't been that funny in quite a while. I haven't seen anything of him, especially ever since he said some shit. Because about with his partner, Kyle Gass, that they did stuff from back then. He says some stupid shit and kind of threw him under the bus. And after that, he's got you know critical on that. So I'm like, that's what I think. That's one of the reasons why Borderlands flopped because of that. Because around that time he did shit like that. The stuff he said. But a Kung Fu Panda 4 was a hit. But I saw Kung Fu Panda 4. I didn't like it. One of the main reasons, Aquafina was an instant reason why. Because anything I've seen with Aquafina sucked. She's a shitty comedian. She's a shitty actress. And that was the one thing I'm tired of seeing her as well. You know, and I'm tired of seeing Jack Black. I have no respect nowadays. I don't respect Jack Black anymore. I don't. I like him for his early work he did, but I don't respect the guy anymore. He's another dumb fuck like most of these actors in Hollywood nowadays. You know. So I'm tired of seeing his ass. I'm tired of his shtick, and get rid of that god awful beard that he has. It looks hideous on him, and he's not. He hasn't been worth a shit of funny in quite a while. But yeah, but Borderlands sucked. Kung Fu Panda 4 sucked. And anything else I've seen over the past few years, he has sucked in it. Okay, so that's why I'm tired of seeing Jack Black. Fuck Jack Black. Jason Momoa, I'm tired of seeing his ass too, as well. I don't like him as Aquaman, and I don't. And he was a goofy ass villain in the Fast X. He was trying to do like a Joker impersonation. He failed miserably, and he was. I'm not a fan of him either. And plus, also as I mentioned, yeah, he was a shitty Conan the Barbarian as well. So that's another actor I'm tired of seeing. And for the rest of the cast, they're forgettable too. One of them is Jennifer Coolidge, which why is she in this? No reason for her to be there, or even the what's her name, Danielle Brooks. There was no reason for her to be in the Minecraft world either. Well, Jennifer Coolidge, I don't think she didn't go in the world, but Danielle Brooks, there was no reason for her to be in this world. There wasn't. But I'm going after okay. What about the plot? Okay. Well, first of all, it's like the first 5 minutes. I think it was like the first 5 minutes of the movie. We have Jack Black narrating and saying how he wants to be a miner, but we see him a flashback when he was a kid, and he goes and gets these mines. It's like in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, where's this kid's parents? Where are his parents? And there's this old miner that yells at him to get away from the mines. I'm like, yeah, this guy makes sense, because kids should not be anywhere near any mines because it can be dangerous. You can fall because they have like old stuff that can go on top that can collapse. So yeah, like this old guy is right. So yeah, this kid should be nowhere near any mines at all. So, and where's his parents? I have no idea. But he finds this orb and this crystal together. He puts them together and he goes through this portal to what's called the overworld. That's the world of Minecraft. He can build stuff. He can build stuff, and he meets this wolf and he names it Dennis. I'm like, what kind of a name you would call a wolf named Dennis? I mean, either it reminds me of the character Dennis from Jurassic Park, played by Wayne Knight, or to me, the actor Dennis Hopper, rest in peace to him, So, I don't know why my dog's barking. Maybe she's barking because she doesn't want me to talk about this movie. That's why she keeps on barking. Hey, stop talking about the movie. Maybe that's why. Sorry, I had to go calm her down because I had to apologize because, hey, I'm sorry, Midnight. I have to talk about this movie, so please calm down. So that's what it was. Otherwise, she would have kept on interrupting the whole entire video. But yeah, but what kind of a name you would name a wolf? Dennis. So and then you have this villain of this villain. What was it called? Magosha. Malgosha. And I guess it goes. It's kind of like this. It's like a hellish place where he meets her. And by the way, this is still when Jack Black when he was a kid. So, and then he gets out of there, and by the way, all this happens like in the first 5 minutes. It may seem like how I'm explaining it though, but all this happens like in the first 5 minutes of the movie. And then he gets out, and he tells Dennis about his address. I'm like, so now this wolf can read words and know where your address is. And then and the best place to hide this powerful orb of crystal, right? This otherworldly object, he hides it under his bed. Yeah, that's a great place to hide. You can't just bury it or put it in a safe. No, but he puts it under his bed. Great place to put it, right? And then we cut. So all of that is like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and then we cut to the present. I think it's the present. I think it's like, yeah, it has to be the present because because we have Jason Momoa who runs this video game store, which I'm like, nowadays I'm like with all the streaming online digital games, I'm a little surprised that store stays open for how long, because people usually don't go buy physical video games anymore. I mean, there is still a GameStop, a couple GameStop I know around here, but a lot of times people just stream or play digital games, so not too many people. I'm the only few. I don't probably play video games anymore. I don't do the whole streaming thing anyway. I'm one of the very few people that still plays old video games like PlayStation 2 games and stuff like that. So I would probably go there just to see if buy any used physical games, right? But that's once in a while though. But with this Ray, but with Jason Momoa, I'm surprised his store is still open, right? And with Jack Black, and speaking with the performances, Jack Black and Jason Momoa, they're so, especially Jack Black, they're so over the top, and it was so cringe inducing to watch. You know, I mean, they were just so over the top and acting so too much, having too much energy. It's like Jack Black as if he drank like 5 cans of Monster or Red Bull. I mean, they were just so over the top, so much energy. It was so cringe inducing to watch them both. My God, they were so horrible. Jeez, crimey, man. And so, and especially Jason Momoa, he tries to act tough, but a lot of times he gets his ass kicked. I'm like, you go from Aquaman, who's supposed to be like the god of the sea, right? And you got this guy who just basically is all talk and no action. He gets his ass kicked. And then we get these two kids. One of them is named Henry, and what's the other? This brother and sister. Um, Natalie, Henry, and Natalie. Yeah. So, and they move into this place. Where are the parents? They say the mom dies, but I'm like, where's the dad? They're hardly ever explaining what happens with the dad. Or where is the dad? Where is he? Is he dead too? Because they don't say the parents died. It says the mom died. So we hardly get to nothing about what happened. What about the dad? Especially how can they afford? These two afford this place? Yeah, it's not shitty anywhere, but it's kind of like seems like it costs money. I'm like, how can they afford this place, right? But no idea where's where the father is, and they can afford this, but how they can afford this place. So, and then a lot of times the character Henry, he's basically just one face looking. He's basically like this pretty much the whole movie. So I didn't care overall I didn't care about the brother and sister. I didn't care about them either. And then but he's like kind of like he likes to invent things. He tries to invent this jetpack, but it flies away, and it lands in this potato chip factory. And I'm like, okay, you're in trouble. You're going to pay for this crap or a lawsuit, and you're going to juvenile hall. Or in other words, he just gets away scot free, just like that kid in The Predator when he had the mask and the gun and he blew up someone's house and he just walks away with no consequences. So it's kind of like that kid. So there she goes again. I know, I apologize. I gotta get through this. So yeah, it's like that, and so he finds Jason Momoa, and then eventually they find the stuff, right, the crystal, the ore, right, and they for some reason they get transported to the mines. I'm like, how do they end up? How will they go? If these are the the stuff, right, to transport. Why would they get transported to the mine first instead of directly over to the overworld or the Minecraft world? Why would they get transported to the mines first? I have no idea. At this point, I just don't care. and the sister is being such a worrywart, and she's calling the school. They don't know. I'm like, don't they? Like I think the girl. I don't think the girl does not know how to use a phone because doesn't she like have that GPS to find out where her brother's phone is at? I guess the girl just doesn't know how to operate a phone. I guess. Dogs are so chattery today. I guess they don't want me to review this movie. Otherwise, what other explanation there is, right? So, anyway, but yeah, but I guess the sister does not know how to use a phone. And so, they so they, and pretty much all the times, yeah, they are separate for most of the movie, by the way. So, but but the Jason Momoa and Henry, they get transported there, and the what was it? The real estate was the vice. No, I think Jennifer Coolidge. I think she's the principal. I think. Yeah, she's the vice principal, and Danielle Brooks, she's the real estate. Yeah, that's what it was. It was Danielle Brooks. Yeah, she's the real estate. She's with the sister. Eventually, they get transported over there too. And so, but there was no reason for her to be in this movie. So, and so, and then Jack. Eventually they meet Jack Black, whose name's Steve, and we see him. We see them fighting. Jack Black, he sucks at fighting. He does, and a lot of times we see Jack Black or Jason Momoa trying to sing. I'm like, great, more. Every time they sang, either one of them sang, it was so cringe-inducing to hear. I'm like this. Oh my god, they were so awful. And also the whole vibe of the movie, like, okay, get similarities. Transport to another world, and it has Jack Black in it. That kind of reminds me, and it's also a game too as well. What does this remind me of? Oh yeah, the Jumanji movies, the sequels, Welcome to the Jungle and the Next Level. Both had Jack Black in it. Transport that's from a game, transport to another world in the game. Wow. I guess that's the reason why, because the cat capitalized because those were hits. But yeah, this felt like another Jumanji movie. Yeah, the more I think about it. And of course, speaking of Jumanji, the only good one is the first one with Robin Williams. I hated the Jumanji sequels. It was just artificial compared to the first movie. I'll just watch the original, which I'll watch Jumanji over the sequels or this movie easily. Rest in peace to Robin Williams. Yeah, some of the stamp that the animals, the CGI on the animals were a little bit outdated though. But you know what? I enjoy Robin Williams. I like Jonathan Hyde, both the father and who also Van Pelt as well. There is some good practical effects, and I can give that. I like James Horner's score, the well direction by Joe Johnston. There's a lot more going for the '95 Jumanji movie. And speaking of the director, I forgot to mention it's directed by Jared Hess. Yeah, Jared Hess, the guy who directed Napoleon Dynamite, and also Nacho Libre, also starring Jack Black. And first of all, I like Napoleon Dynamite. Saw it back then. I enjoy that film. I even like Nacho Libre. But this film, it doesn't seem like a type of film that he would direct. It wouldn't. It just seems like out of place. I'm like, this doesn't feel like a film as it's like the films he. It doesn't feel like a film. The films like Napoleon Dynamite or Nacho Libre that he directed. It doesn't even feel like it. So it's like an out of place director. It doesn't feel like it's directed by this guy. It doesn't. But it must have been a good paycheck for him because hey, the film was a huge hit, so it must have been a bigger paycheck for him. So yeah, but I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean I like Napoleon Dynamite. I like Nacho Libre, but not this film. It doesn't even feel like it's directed by this guy. It could have been any director who made this. It doesn't feel like, like it's like certain films when it's directed by a guy who's directed multiple movies. It seems like it's the style of the movie is like okay, it's directed by this guy, right? Take Tony Scott for example, right? I get that. I watch his films; those are Tony Scott movies. His style, right? And I see the difference. I see the difference with when Ridley Scott directs his movies, right? Now I easily choose Tony Scott over Ridley Scott though, because I like his style of movies, the way he directs it, right? So yeah, this film doesn't feel like it's directed by Jared Harris, right? It doesn't feel like it's like the way how he directs Napoleon Dynamite or Nacho Libre, if you get what I mean. So yeah, it just felt like it must have been a good paycheck for him because it felt like it could have been directed by anybody. Anyway, moving along, where am I talking to? They go to this village. They talk to these pig soldiers, and they fight again. Jack Black gets knocked out by Jason Momoa with these bucket. Like Jason Momoa, he's like with bucket nunchucks, and then he knocks Jack Black out. And so, but then he gets his ass kicked. And the effects, I'm sorry, it cost 150 million. I did not like the effects when it was in the trailer. Now I know that's how the design of these creatures are from the game. I get it though, but to me, I never played the game. I don't know nothing about the game. I don't know any of these Easter eggs that people who play the game know about. They're in one ear out the other with me. But I'm sorry, the effects to me it looked just as bad as it was as I saw in the trailers. It's always funny. Like over the past how many like years now. I mean, the big budgets. The effects should be better, but they don't. Especially everything is CGI overload nowadays. Green screen overload, CGI overload with these all these big budget films nowadays. It gets so tired to see, right? Because it's seeing, oh, that's plainly obvious what it is. But yeah, so it just kind of and it also takes me out of that as well. So after that, and then the boy Henry, he gets a tater tot launcher, shoots tater tots. Oh, speaking of Napoleon Dynamite, why? Because Napoleon Dynamite, there was a thing with tater tots in Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon, give me some of your tots. No, go find your own. Come on, give me some of your tots. No, freaking starving anything today. Ugh. Gross. Freaking idiot. I rather watch Napoleon Dynamite. I would. Hey, why? Because the tater tots. Hey, that was in that Napoleon. Maybe. Oh, is this your reference to because the director Jared Harris? Because he referenced it with tater tots. I rather watch Napoleon Dynamite. So, but yeah, he has a tater tot launcher, and then with Jack Black, and especially this is a kid. It's supposed to be a family kids movie. Jack Black and Jason Momoa. How do I describe this scene? There was this hole that both of them had to get through, and probably for saying this though, but they get in like to like what is it called, the 69 position, and they managed to get through the hole. And Jack Black's like, what was it? Or it was either I forget. It was either one of those like, hey, my beard smells like my beer. I think it was Jason Momoa. My beer smells like cheese. Yeah, because his face was in Jack Black's crotch from that. Yeah, this is supposed to be a kids movie. Yeah, you should watch that scene and you say, "Oh, this is over a $9 million movie. This is a $9 million blockbuster movie, right? This is a kids movie." You watch that scene, I'm like, seeing them both in a 69 position. Kids movie, folks. Yeah, because your kids are not gonna get what it is, what they're doing. $9 million movie, $900 million movie, folks. $900 million movie. Yeah, you watch that scene. So after that, then what else? Then yeah, that's what yeah, because that's right. It was Jason because yeah, it's really cheese because he smelled. It said it smelled like Gouda. That's what it was. Gouda, Gouda cheese. And the villain of this movie, the reason why she's doing this, ready for this? Her motivation is because she got laughed at a talent show, right? She was dancing at a talent show, and she got laughed at for it. So that's her motivation. The reason why she's the villain because she Other than that, if I missed something, I'm sorry. But yeah, she got laughed at a talent show for her dancing. So anyway, by the way, yeah, I took notes by the way because I'm never gonna see this film again. So it's better to say sorry. You know, if I bypass things, I'm sorry. I'm just getting to the. I just want to get to this as quickly as possible because it's just like I never want to see this film again. I don't because I don't want to see any more of Jack Black's ass, neither or Jason Momoa. So they get to the castle, and over course there is this thing where Jason Momoa does this thing where you know how it is a lot of films where they do something and then something like an explosion or whatever happens and you thinking that character is dead, but by the end, the reveal, they're not dead, right? So Jason does something where they think he's dead, but it turns out he's not. He's not dead. That same psych out. Psych. He's dead. Psych. No, he's not. So then afterwards, Jack Black he goes back with them, and so and then back in the world, Henry's jetpack, it's a success this time. It doesn't fly away, go crazy or anything. And then Jason and Jason Momoa, they work together and they save the video game store. But now a sequel is in development, so there's gonna be more of this adventures. This film just sucks. It sucks big time. I care to never want to see this film again. I never want to because like I said, Jack Black, he hasn't been worth a shit in a long time, and neither has Jason Momoa. He's never been worth a shit to me in my eyes. There are fans of him, fine, great, but to me, he's never been worth a shit ever since I first saw him as. Well, the thing is, my brother and my dad, they're fans of him. They like him in Stargate in the show Stargate Atlantis, and he pretty much looks the same ever since. Same like the long hair and the beard. Well, except for he didn't have the beard in Conan the Barbarian, but still. Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention he sucked a bullet to the head. I forgot to mention that's how forgettable that Sylvester Stallone film was. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. That's how forgettable that film was. It went out of my head. Bullet to the head sucked. He was in that. And he was the bad guy, and he sucked in that film. Jason, with freaking Stallone. He just sucks. He just sucks as an actor. I'm sorry. So, but yeah, just like both of them suck. So cringe-inducing to watch. Over the top. And then they say they're in you see them in the freaking 69 position. I'm like, Jesus Christ, me in a $900 million movie and a kids movie. Yeah, if you see them like that, yeah. And then the brother and sister, I didn't care about the real estate woman, Danielle Brooks. There was no reason for her to be there. Oh, and I forgot to mention the one of the characters, I forget what the name was, one of the from the Minecraft world. It is able to come into the real world as well, and gets it with the vice principal Jennifer Coolidge. I'm like, that's another thing I gotta mention because it just reminds me. It's like a video game character kind of falls in love with this other person. It just reminds me of freaking Pixels with Josh Gad basically kissing Q*bert. And then at the end of that, Q*bert turns into a woman and is kissing Josh Gad. I'm like, that also gave me another freaking cringe-inducing reminding memory. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that cringe-inducing scene from Pixels. Q*bert turns into a woman and falls in love and kisses Josh Gad. I'm like, so that with the whole thing with that character with Jennifer Coolidge, it reminded me of that. And the thing is though, Pixels had a cool idea. It had a cool idea, but then it just turned into another unfunny Adam Sandler movie with Kevin James, unfunny Kevin James, which I don't buy him as a president. I don't buy him at all. and the little idiot Peter Dinklage, and also unfunny Josh Gad kissing Cubert. Listen, it had a cool idea, and that just got missed opportunity ruined. Yeah, this film Minecraft movie sucked. It did. Okay, I hated this film. It's also, yes, it's easily one the top 10. Like, this whole year has been shit as well. So far there's I've only liked a couple of movies I like this year, and they were not great. I didn't. There were ones I did not love. Well, there was one I did enjoy. A couple of them I did not mind. But overall, a lot of films I've seen this year sucked. This whole year so far have sucked. So yeah, fuck Jack Black, fuck Jason Momoa, fuck this movie, everything about this movie. There's not a place, Jared Hess, just, this doesn't feel like your movie. I'll just stick to watching Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. And Nacho Libre back when Jack Black was funny in that, not today. Not today's Jack Black. No. But it made money. It doesn't matter. And it's gonna get a sequel, so it doesn't matter overall what I say. Yes, but fuck this movie. It sucks big time. It can kiss my ass, and it can go. Hey, it can go fall down. Hey, be ironic. It can go fall down a mine shaft. How about that? It can go to those mines, and it can fall down a mine shaft and be dead and buried. So how about that? How about them apples? So yeah, so that's Minecraft movie. If you like the film, that's fine. Not me. I'm done now. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more for Anime Month, and we'll see you on the next anime review later.